Today, my topic is playing the game of life, and I think I think sometimes we get so trapped up in the meaning of life, like Mitsuyoshi was sharing in his wing talk. Sometimes we get all caught up with all kinds of thoughts and ideas, and we forget sometimes that, like, in many ways, life is just like a game. Okay, and I want to talk about how life is like a game, and once we understand the game and we can learn to play the game, then life just becomes incredibly enjoyable and fun and exciting. And that's like what I've been experiencing in my life for the past just a couple months. Like, I've just been experiencing such a fun life, and I really wanted to share kind of some of the things that I've learned along the way. So to get this started, first I got to introduce my character. So name of my character, Justin Okamoto, age 29. His race is human. He's male, class Divine Son of God, and his special move is the Okmansei. You guys hear my Okmansei, you know that's my special move. And just a little background, legend has it that the GOD, Games Omnipotent Developer, said that when he created the human race that it was good. And, there was some problems. The other races have since complained that the human race was totally OP and that it was a bug in the Genesis patch. And the humans were eventually banned from the Eden servers because of that. Recently, some of the humans have hacked their way back into the server. And so far, there hasn't been a patch to fix this issue, although mod attempts have been made to nerf the humans. Because of this, many of the other races have since rage quit. So I just wanted to give a little bit of a background of kind of the world that we live in. And I want to introduce my party. So there's myself, Justin, my son, Ryoma, age 1. Special move is just being cute. He's just the cutest guy ever. My wife, Kazuka, her age is unknown. And her special move is to love her husband. She's so good at loving her husband. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, and there's a little guy on the top. That's my angel, Peter. He's kind of my little guardian angel. And his special move is to call all the other angels to help when I need something, and he's amazing. So that's my party, and let's get into it. So first thing I want to get us clear on is what makes a good game. Okay, so how many of you play games? Let me just see a show of hands. Gamers, any gamers out there? Doesn't matter what game you're playing. If you're a Candy Crush kind of person, if you're one of those puzzle gamers, or if you're a Smash Bros kind of guy or girls too, they can play Smash Bros. Or you're a shooter, whatever. But it doesn't matter what kind of game you like. Every single game, I promise you, if it's a good game, it has these aspects. So the first one is user-friendly controls, okay? So the controls are very simple, and the controls don't just change randomly while you're playing the game, that they're consistent controls, and eventually you can pick up the controls and you can play the game and enjoy as much as you like. The second thing is clearly defined rules. So there's clear rules about how you can win the game, how you lose the game, how you can get points in the game, how you gain experience, and all these things. They're very clearly defined by the designer. The third one is clear victory conditions. Every game has a clear goal, and you kind of have a sense of what that goal is from the very get-go, right? I'll give you some examples later on. And the fourth aspect is that difficulty increases over time, right? So you don't just start playing a game and the game is like super difficult. You don't start playing a game on like super hard mode, because you're gonna get frustrated and you're like, what the heck is this? This is just frustrating, So these are the basic aspects of a good game, okay? So let's talk about real life, or as we say, RL in gamer speak. In real life, a lot of times it feels like there's no user-friendly controls. We don't know how to control the outcome of life. We don't know how to control our characters sometimes. It's like our character's doing all kinds of things and we don't like the things that our character's doing. We're like, why is our character doing that? And clearly defined rules. There's not clearly defined rules. Like you go, depending on the server that you're playing in, depending on the world that you play in, the rules are going to be totally different. And that's very confusing for a lot of players. And a clear victory condition. A lot of players of the game of real life they don't have a clear victory condition. They don't really know why they're playing the game. It's just like, what am I doing? I'm like trying to play. What's the goal of this game? I don't even know, you know? And the last part is like difficulty increasing over time, right? So a lot of times we're playing this game of life and we're like, why is this game so friggin' hard? like what's going on here? And that can get really frustrating when the difficulty just from the get-go is like so difficult. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys a really quick movie of just what life is like sometimes, kind of how we feel about life. So yeah, it's kind of like this, okay? Okay, let me just get a show of hands. Anybody ever feel like that about life? Oh man, okay, maybe you're not that dramatic, but I know sometimes life can feel like that. Okay, so let me get back in the presentation. So, but let me tell you, there is a reason why life sometimes feels like it's so difficult and it feels like we don't have all of these things that makes a great game. And let me talk about that. Okay, the reason why that is we don't have the user manual, okay? So what if we had a user manual for life? Wouldn't that be awesome? That can actually guide us, teach us the rules, teach us the controls, show us, you know, what's the goal of the game and you know, how to get to that goal. Okay, and it teaches us in an incremental way. Okay, so let's take a look at the user manual. Okay, so let's talk about the controls. Okay, how do we control this character? Okay, so first of all, I want to give an example. You guys, how many of you know the game Super Mario? If you don't know the game Super Mario, then you probably are like an alien and don't actually exist. You're an AI bot right now. So Super Mario is a very simple game. Okay, there's only 3 basic things you can do is you move around with the D-pad, you jump with the A button, and you accelerate. You go faster with the B button, and sometimes you can shoot fireballs. Okay, so it's a little complicated. I won't get into that, but basically, you go through different stages, and all you have to do is know these controls, and you can pick up the game. And that's what makes it such a good game, is it's so simple. So let's take a look at what the manual has to say about life, okay? So let's see. So through the agency of universal prime energy, the subject and object elements of every entity form a common base and enter into interaction. This interaction in turn generates all the forces the entity needs for existence, multiplication, and action. The interaction generating these forces through this process is called give and take action, okay? So highlighting a couple points: universal prime energy, subject, object, common base, existence, multiplication, and action. But the main points, the main controls of the game is what we're talking about when we talk about give and take action, okay? So let's take a look at the controls. D-pad, you can move around. A button is give. You just give. You just press the A button, you can give. B button, I'm sure some of you thought it was take, but actually that's incorrect. The B button is actually forget, okay? Because here's the thing, the taking part of the give and take action is not, it's not an action that we take, it's a natural response. You know, it's just like in Mario, if you hit the question mark box, right? The natural response is you're gonna get a mushroom, you're gonna get a star, okay? You're gonna get something for that. Okay, so in life, if we give something, it's the natural response from the universe, from other people, is that they want to give back to us, okay? So the controls of life, trust me, it's not as difficult as we might have thought it to be. So let's talk about the rules. So again, let's talk about Super Mario. Rules are very simple. You fall down a hole, you die. You get hit by a Goomba, you die. Bowser, you know, hits you on the head, you die. But you jump on a Goomba, you kill the Goomba. Oh, okay. You get to the end before the time limit runs out, and you win the game. Okay, very, very simple. Anybody can learn these rules. Okay, again, let's take a look at the user manual for life. People feel joy when their desires are fulfilled. Wow, is that not simple? That is very simple. So the way we play the game is we fulfill our desires, and then we experience joy, okay? But let's kind of look into this, because the word desire is often not understood. So it's talking about original desire. And so when we think about original desire, it's really the desires that enrapture the original mind. Okay, so fulfilling these desires of original mind, think about things like love, right? Our desire to love somebody, to connect with people, to feel a sense of community, right? Think about in your own lives, when you experience that, you feel a sense of joy, you feel this a sense of fulfillment. Wow, this is really wonderful. Also growth. Our original mind desires us to grow, to, if we're feeling stuck in life, like we're not, the next day, we're not a little bit ahead than where we were yesterday, then we're naturally gonna feel a little bit frustrated. Also, the original mind desires us to give, to contribute something. We all want to feel like I've got something to give. I've got some talent, some ability, some love to give to somebody else. Everybody wants to feel that. And the last one is values. We want to feel a sense of value, but also we want to give value to other things. And we do that through appreciation, through saying thank you, through appreciating the people in our life. When we give that sense of value to other things, we also experience a sense of value for ourselves, okay? So that's the basic rules for the game of life. And I want to get into the victory condition, okay? So again, what's the victory condition for Super Mario? Save Princess Peach, right? You gotta protect our loved ones, protect the girl, save the girl from the evil dude. There's a lot of games like this. It's not just for guys, but but this Super Mario, right? And think about even us guys, think about how we could relate to this, or we really want to be there for our girl. We want to protect our girl. We want to be the one that slays the dragon for our girl. Trust me, if you don't think that's true, then take another look. It's true. All guys desire this. I'm not a girl, so I'm not going to speak for girls, but I speak for the guys. Okay. So let's look at the user manual for life. There are the 3 great blessings: to be fruitful, mature, ready to bear fruit, multiply, and have dominion over the creation. Had Adam and Eve obeyed the divine mandate and built the kingdom of heaven, there's no doubt that God would have felt the greatest joy as his sons and daughters and rejoiced in the world of his ideal. Okay, so this is the goals in life. Okay, so the first goal is to be fruitful. And how do we do that? Is to love your character, okay? Love the character that you're playing with, okay? So sometimes your character acts all strange. Sometimes your character doesn't do the things that you want it to do, but you just gotta love that character. You say, it's okay, you're learning the process. You can't run right now, but at least you can walk right now. That's really great. And you just love that character with all your heart, and that's really the first thing. And eventually through that love, just giving that unconditional love to your character, it's gonna grow into this awesome character that's gonna be able to slay that dragon and do all those cool things, okay? So the next thing that we gotta do is we gotta multiply, okay? So that means to love other players, okay? So in this game, once we get to this character, we've got this character that can really be awesome. And then of course the natural thing is that you want to be able to give to other players. You want to love those other players. You want to give everything that you've got with them because you're just so excited about your character, and everybody's got to get what you got. You got all the great spells, the healing spells, the support spells, you just want to give that all away. And the last thing is have dominion. Love the game, love the universe, okay? So eventually you want to be in this place where you're like loving everything that's a part of this. You're even loving the NPCs of the game. You're like, thank you for being this. It would be so lonely without you. So these are the goals of life, and we want to eventually get to that final goal, okay? So finally, let's talk about the difficulty level of life, okay? So in Mario, the kind of difficulty, it changes based on the stages. So you go through stage 1 to 6. Eventually you get to the final boss, which is where you defeat Bowser, right? It's a very simple process, but because it's not always the same simple thing, it's not like you're playing level 1 the whole time, it doesn't get boring, right? It gets progressively a little bit more challenging, but it also doesn't go from like level 1 to level 6, where it's like, like what happened? Why Bowser? There's kind of a stage, a stepping stones to get to that final place, okay? So then let's also look at the manual it says everything reaches perfection by passing through 3 ordered stages of growth: the formation stage, the growth stage, and the completion stage. Okay, so let's take a look at what that looks like. So level 1 is tutorial mode. Okay, so this is where you're just learning the controls. Some people call this mind-body unity. You're just trying to learn the controls of the character. You know, how does this character move around? How do they walk? How do they run? How do they jump? You know, how do they find their way to give to the other players, right? So it's just learning the controls of the character. And you're just working to understand, right? That's really the main goal, is just understanding your character and how they work, okay? And then we move on to level 2, and this is kind of the main quest. This is where you can start to gain experience. You go on different quests with people, and you gain new skills, new abilities, and you really start to master these skills and abilities. But also during this stage, it's really important to start gathering party members. Okay, you want to gather, like, you want to find people that you can work together with on your quests, because quests are so much more fun when you're doing them together with other people, and especially if you can find that one person that's just like, oh, like, I love this team member. Oh my gosh, this is a special team member from me. You know, if you can find that one person, then that makes the quest super fun. And then you get into level 3, and this is where free play happens. This is like sandbox mode. You know, you've already completed all the quests, and now you're just like free to explore the world map. You're allowed to just like have fun, find all those Easter eggs, and see all the little things that the creator, you know, the great omnipotent designer, what he created, and just find all those little things and just have fun with that. And then you can teach other noobs, because, you know, there's a lot of noobs in the game. That's a natural thing, that, like, you know, there's noobs, right? But when you're in free play, you know, you can have the free time to teach other noobs and kind of see them grow. And that gets really exciting when you see other noobs grow, okay? So now I kind of explained how the game works, and I want to talk about how to not be an eternal noob in RL. Okay, RL stands for real life for some of you, you know, gamer noobs out there. It's okay. But the first thing I gotta explain is, oh yeah, here are some benefits, by the way, of not being a noob. It's just insanely high FPS. It's just amazing. Virtually no lag. You know, that's really wonderful. Things don't take a long time. Yeah, no load times. Again, there's none of those times when you get stuck. And state-of-the-art ragdoll physics. Oh man, this is amazing. Okay, so not being a noob is really great. A lot to look forward to. So the first thing we got to talk about is, what is a noob? Because some of us don't know what a noob is. So noob is another word for newbie, noob, nub, or noob. By the way, that last noob is spelled with 2 zeros, not O's. Sorry, that doesn't really translate that well in the PowerPoint. But basically what a noob is, it's a novice, it's a newcomer, okay? And this is really important to understand. The meaning of a noob is not, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean you don't deserve to live. It doesn't mean that you don't deserve to play the game. It just means you're a new person, you're a novice, you know, you just started playing the game. You know, I know there's a lot of trolls out there that make fun of the noobs, but really it's not a bad thing to be a noob, okay? So I wanted to make that really clear before we move forward. Okay, so I want to talk about some of the common RL fails of noobs. Okay, get this really clear. So let's take a look. The first one is not watching the tutorial, okay? So a lot of noobs, they just get right into the game without reading the tutorial, without watching the tutorial. And then they get in, they're just so frustrated while they're playing the game. They're like, why can't I play this game? Why isn't it working? And they start blaming the game, and they start saying, this game sucks, you know? But dude, you didn't read the tutorial. Come on, man. Like, you gotta learn how to play the game first. So pro tip is reference for the manual. Okay, the manual is your best friend. You gotta study that manual like you're giving your life to it. I mean, you wanna just study that manual and find every single rule, understand the rules, understand the goal of that game, and just make sure you've got it down flat before, you know, and you can do that while playing the game, that's okay, but reference for the manual, this is a real top pro tip, okay? So another noob fail, a noob mistake is playing a co-op game as a solo game. I mean, you know, there are some games that you can play solo, but there are some games that they're designed to be co-op games, people. So if you're playing a game and it's supposed to be a co-op game and you're just frustrated, like, why can't I get past this stage? Then you gotta start thinking, maybe this is a co-op game. Maybe this is a game that, you know, I'm not supposed to be playing by myself, okay? So pro advice, find awesome party mates. Okay, this is so good. You know, you got to find some awesome party mates. It's going to make your game so much smoother, so much easier, and so much more fun. Okay, so the next one, button smashing. Oh my gosh, button smashing. Okay, so some of you don't know what button smashing is. It's basically when you take the controller and you're just smashing all the buttons, and you're just praying that it's going to do something great, and you're going to hit that secret move by smashing all those buttons. Okay, so a lot of noobs, you know, they think button mashing works. They're just trying a lot of things. They're taking a lot of actions. And sometimes those actions, you know, produce the results that they want, and they're like, oh, button mashing works, but if you're going to go against a pro, button mashing is not going to work. So here's a pro tip. Take some strategic, massive actions. So really think about your actions. Make sure your actions align with what the manual says. You know, make sure that you understand the secret moves and you're taking actions according to what the manual says. Okay, this is a real important tip. Okay. Oh my gosh, this one, skipping levels. Okay, so a lot of noobs, okay, it's like you're a level 10 Cloud, and you're trying to defeat Sephiroth, you know, who's like a level 99 boss. I mean, like, why would you expect yourself to be able to defeat Sephiroth when you're just level 10? I mean, it's ridiculous, you know. And then you get so mad at your character, like, Cloud sucks because he can't defeat Sephiroth, but you're a level 10, okay? So, okay, the first thing you got to do is you got to level yourself up. You got to level up your character. Okay, so get those experience points, you know, learn those skills, learn the magic that you want. And then when you're ready to go after the big bosses, you know, to fight Bowser, you know, that's when you go for it. So a pro tip is that pros create challenge in their own way. Okay, so this is really interesting. So a pro, you know, because a pro, they can start a new game and they might think it's too easy, but a pro will find a way to make challenge. So one thing that pros do, for example, is a speed run. Okay, so some of you guys don't know what a speed run is, but it's basically seeing how fast you can complete a game, okay, to make it a little bit more challenging. So if you feel like a level is a little bit too easy for you, you know, don't go on and just skip that level and go to the next one, but try a speed run. See how fast you can go through that level and really feel like excited about, you know, that level challenge. You want to adjust the challenge to you. If it's too difficult of a level, you know, feel free to like go back to a previous level and try that level again, okay? So the next one is only hanging around other noobs. Oh my gosh. So a lot of noobs love to congregate together. I don't know why noobs love to do this. I guess it's a human thing, I guess. But noobs love to hang around other noobs, okay? And they love to talk about their little newbie, you know, their conversations and talk about how bad the game is, and you know, they love to just complain about the controls and all that stuff. And it's like, you know, they're not helping anybody by being around other noobs. So this is a big mistake. Don't hang around other noobs, okay? So here's a pro tip: actively seeking advice and companionship from the pros, okay? So it doesn't matter if you get into a new game, you know, you might be a pro in one game, but if you're starting a new game, you know, you're going to go back to being a noob, and that's okay. So you got to try to get yourself with the pros. You got to try to make sure you're spending enough time with the people who know how to play the game so you can learn from them, so you can learn what works, follow in their footsteps. Okay, and this is the last one, is that noobs don't know they're noobs. Okay, this is a big one, guys. Noobs don't know they're noobs. If you don't know you're a noob, then you can't become a pro. Okay, so the first thing is you got to know you're a noob. And, you know, with the pros are willing to admit one's own noobness. Okay, this is really important. Admitting your own noobness. Like, again, you're even if you're a pro in like Smash Bros, you start playing Mario Kart, you're gonna be a noob because you're just starting playing that game. And so admit it, you're a noob. There's nothing wrong with being a noob. Okay, that's how you learn, making that first step. Okay, so we're getting close to the end. I want to give this is a pro tip. First step to not being a noob is to admit one's noobness. Okay, admit one's noobness. Okay, and this is by Sun Myung Leet Moon. He's a pro RL gamer. Some of you guys might know him. He's really good, big in the gaming industry. So I've got some questions, some discussion questions that I want you guys to really consider. So the first one is, take a look at this list. So where in RL have I been a noob? So maybe you've been a noob in your finances. Maybe you've been a noob in your relationships. Maybe you've been a noob in your spiritual life, or a noob in, you know, really going after the career that you want. You know, again, you're probably not a noob in everything, but you know, you're probably a noob in something. So take a look and see what you've been a noob in. And the second one is, which common noob mistakes am I making? So take a look at that area of life and the finances. Am I trying to play this co-op game solo? Am I button mashing? And am I not admitting that I'm a noob, first of all? Maybe that's their first step. And then the last question is, what's one pro action that I could take this week? Okay, so you want to just think about one pro action that you could take this week to start, you know, to get away from your noobness and really start becoming a pro. You know, making that first step. Okay, so that's all I've got to share with you guys. I hope you guys could find that insightful. I hope you can get something for your life. Yeah, and you know, I love you guys. I'm so grateful to be here. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed as well.